Yesterday I read in the Toronto Star an article entitled "The Trials of Pope Benedict," whose writer opined that, especially amid the current sexual abuse scandal in the Catholic Church, rarely has an officially infallible papacy spent so much time at damage control. This statement has a ring of truth. It has been noted by media and the clergy and laypeople alike that many Catholics have focused on defending the Church from further harm or on defending the Pope from unjust criticism. Defense of the Church or of the Pope has its place, but this cannot become more important than the protection of the most vulnerable persons from the indelible damage that this kind of abuse causes them, the expression of sorrow for the evil that has occurred, and the resolve not to let it to happen again. We have seen a church and individual Christians retreat into this kind of damage control when we ought to proclaim the good news of the risen Christ, especially in this Easter season. However, that does not detract from the Church's infallibility, as yesterday's article indicates. A crisis like the one we are experiencing calls upon us to deepen our understanding of the nature of the Church. We are ever more dependent upon the power and wisdom of the Holy Spirit who guides us. Infallibility, as one of my instructors this past year at St. Michael's College has emphasized, is not an attribute primarily of the Pope or of his office. Instead, infallibility is a gift of the Holy Spirit to the entire divinely instituted Church. It applies, as per Vatican I, to papal pronouncements on behalf of the whole Church on matters of faith and morals. Infallibility does not mean that the Pope cannot err on matters not divinely revealed. Infallibility, as today's first reading from Acts points out, can extend beyond the Pope. We read the story of Stephen, who spoke what God had revealed to him, such that his adversaries could not withstand the wisdom and the spirit with which he spoke. Stephen thus taught with the authority of the Spirit, and as Acts goes on to recount, it cost him his life. The martyria of Stephen is an example to us of infallible witness. We must also give our lives for our Church, for the truth, and especially now for those who have been hurt by the human institution that is that Church. Few, if any of us, will die as Stephen did, but nevertheless we must speak without fear and without defensiveness that infallible wisdom of the Spirit and that joy of Christ risen that is needed in this troubled time in our world and in our Church.